kind of like a, I think people like Mike because I'm kind of a unique kind of character.
And I have
You just see how games and possessions are more intense, how they mean more.
I'm not putting him on.
I think the U.S. is going to obviously win.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Nothing But Respect. We just want to start. We've heard your feedback that we are this like sort of bi-coastal elite podcast, more concerned with like the critical semiotics of like which tech workers are going to bar part-time, who is posting good assist percentages of the Berkeley Carroll pickup run. We know it's playoff time, so we just wanted to start off, like, we hear your feedback. Harry, I just wanted to ask you, how was the Delia Kai hate reads? Can we get a scene report of your time at this party?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Yes, it was. For those who don't know, I've been hinting at it. But I to my millions of fans, I'm like tweeting it out to 3 people. But I was
my dad texted me about it. He was like, "Who do you think wrote this Victor Wembanama hate read?" And I was like, "I think it's Jeremy Gordon."
Exactly. I penned this hate read lambasting Victor Wembanyama and sort of modern sports media. I got to read it at the event. One thing that a few things. I got some great feedback. It was great. I had the kind of classic, I would hit a niche punchline and just the boyfriends who were brought their corner would laugh. Yeah, I had like 7 guys in the back. I at one point I said, yeah, like what's the last campaign, like Nike ad campaign that was good? I bet it had Steve Francis in it. And complete silence except for honestly like 9 chuckles in the back, and which was great. Like big salute to those people. And then the 2 most charming things were, one, people coming up to me being like, I don't know much about sports, but I resonated with the larger point. A lot of people would be like, I don't follow basketball, but this is happening in my sport too. Like this is happening in baseball or whatever. Nice. That was cool. But the thing that was the most endearing for me was guys coming up to me, and this happened this was unexpected, but guys came up to me and was like, Steve Francis, great reference. And then like a pause, and then be like, I was thinking about Coutinho Mobley. Or like, I was thinking
some
about
sui generis guy remembering going on.
Yes. Some like real in-person boots on the ground, like at a media party, drinking a lychee martini, being like, yeah, Kevin Martin was awesome.
I love the idea of a group of like a room full of people who like write and think exclusively in Substack voice, where they were like, I was with my ethereal friends at Cafe Menu downtown talking about the tariffs, of course, and then having to overhear you be like, yeah, Adonal Foyle, great warrior.
No, it literally was that. Like there were hate reads about the kind of like political implications of the downtown scene. There were, like teal money was invoked sort of like earnestly. And then I was like, yeah, dude, Mark Andreessen pays Victor Wembanyama to be weird.
That's coherent though. I like, my question is, how did it go over in the room when you said that he deserved his blood clot and that it was good that it happened?
Well, that was, yeah, right. Exactly. The deep vein thrombosis. I was like, funny that he got a blood clot right near where you get vaccinated. Are we sure that's like not a conspiracy? I did write it before he had this deep vein thrombosis. I wish, I would. There's part of me that's imagining like I would be on First Take, like debating Stephen A. Smith right now if Victor hadn't gotten injured and had like, won, like been like second team all league, and then I was shitting on him. But no, I think I was able to keep the peace about the larger kind of like slopification of sports media, and less particular about Victor Wembanyama. I just sort of used him as like I could have probably like more spiritually truthful but also hacky version would have been like about Jason Tatum or something. But
but also like it sounds like you said, like it was sort of coherent with like the larger thesis being advanced, if you can have one, about like teal money in the downtown scene. Like I think it's not like it's a 1-to-1, but it does sound like you're making somewhat similar points about Wemby. Not to derail us too quickly, but the Stephen A. Smith point I find very interesting because I feel like without actually having done the work, it seems like he would be an anti-Wembanama guy because I feel like I've seen him push the like Europeans are taking over the league and that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think his sort of like the impulse that I find somewhat sympathetic where he's like, it's best when like Black American players are best for the league. I wonder how if like Cooper Flag becomes really, really good, whether the Black part of that sentence or the American part of that sentence will matter more as he like pivots to maybe a 2028 presidential run. Like, is he trying to win Maine? And so will he then be like Cooper Flag, best player I've seen since Michael Jordan? Or like, it'll be interesting to see, you know, how he positions himself. So keep an eye on that.
There's something especially funny there about like how when Dems or I mean any people are doing kind of like vote mapping and they're like, oh well, you know, like Hillary will win Pennsylvania, she's from Pennsylvania or whatever. Doing that with like, well, Stephen A. Smith will win Maine. I mean, he's been a long time Cooper Flag defender or whatever. Like, Stephen A. Smith will probably win California. He's on the record as saying Curry is one of the top 3 greatest of all time. Like that whole train's like. But then
it's like, oh man, Minnesota is a really important state, but he's been very critical of Chris Finch's rotations in the playoffs. Like, exactly. I don't know. He's gonna really have to tone down the rhetoric about the Pistons too, because like you got to hold the blue wall.
Exactly. Like altering his like. Winning the Rust Belt via saying Karl Anthony Towns like was an all-time fucking Timberwolf. Wait, did I have one other Stephen A. Smith thing about whether or not he'll care? Oh, well, just the other place where Stephen A. and I can have a big tent here is like I think if you're not imposing a sort of like fascist political idea under my or Stephen A.'s basketball takes, we're both united in the get your ass in the paint, young man school of basketball, of which we are against Wembanyama.
Yeah, there's definitely a crossover, and like I find a lot of his cranky takes to be mostly annoying because it's clear that he's like not watching the games, like
right.
He's sort of going through like he's like doing his own Stephen A. Smith soundboard. Like there's a bunch of like preset responses and it's pretty much all some variation of back in my day. Mm-hmm. But I do sort of find the fact that he likes the Knicks so much to be sort of endearing because it doesn't feel as cynical as like anyone else of his stature supporting any other team basically. And also because they've been asked for so long. It's like, you can't really accuse anyone of being a bandwagon Knicks fan. Yeah,
it's true. And it is a weird, I mean, I've never really, I guess we grew up in the era where sports pundits just had favorite teams, you know, like it used to be like, oh, Simmons cares about the Celtics. Like that's new, but now that's just like, that was the media milieu we basically grew up in. So
yeah,
I've never really bumped on it. I like when people have kind of allegiances, and especially you're right, because the Knicks have been asked so much.
And I think it's healthy too, because like the thing you basically end up arguing for, if you're like the person who's like, oh, it's cringe that Skip Bayless pretends like the Cowboys or whatever, is like, then you have to defend this like posture of fake objectivity where it's like the journalism thing where you pretend that you don't have any opinions or lens onto the world, or that like the things you say like could affect anyone. Like, I don't know, like it's like no person is totally objective, right? And so I'd rather just have the person like Simmons just say like, here are my priors. I think Peyton Pritchard is the greatest player of all time. So then you know, like, this man is a fool, but at least this is what he believes.
He's an honest fool, yeah. All right, let's talk. It's actually a good transition because I wanted to talk about some of the this is a time-tested tradition in the playoffs, which is NBA fan bases who are in series against each other getting like extremely mad at each other, and then having the lines of political and basketball, or sort of social and basketball like crumble or collapse in on each other in real time. There's a great one that happened recently between Warriors fans and Rockets fans that I want to talk about, but do you have any other highlight examples of this kind of thing before I jump in?
I think Lakers fans are so fucking cool. And it's really fun to watch them lose their minds on like just totally eroded latter day Twitter where like we're doing degradations to the human language not seen since like the Black Plague broke out across Europe. Like, this is like a great combination of stupid people in stupid form. Like, I saw this guy today being like, yeah, Lakers are down to 3-1, but our chance to win the series increases if we win game 4 and then, or if we win game 5 and then if we win game 6. And it's like, he's like accidentally discovered like math.
Sequential. Yeah, I think.
And also like seeing, for years I've like kind of noticed this, like surely you've seen the Richard Normal tweet about like Lakers and fascism, you know, yada, yada. But seeing it just out in the wild so open all the time is like honestly kind of bracing. It's like cold water swimming to see like Lake Show Yo or any of these like other just totally insane, stupid fan accounts being like, bro, only against the Lakers would Dante DiVincenzo make a 3. Right. And it's like sort of endearing in a way because it's like, oh, they just don't watch basketball. Like they don't know like who is on what team, how these things work. It's like this amazing fishbowl mentality that's like only possible if you've just been rewarded for being stupid. Like you don't have to think about it critically. If like Shaq and Kobe are on your team, then you just keep winning kind of on accident. And like LeBron saves you from all your bad choices. Like you would be dumb too if that stuff happened to you basically. Right. It's like really fun to see them go up against Wolves fans who I find to be like a very endearing group. That's like Eamon Whalen's like a great example of it. Like he has like totally irrational self-belief in his team. And I think he embodies that fan base very well.
I gotta find this. There's a great one right around the time of Lakers, like just insane. I found it. Wow. From at the pettiest LA. This is a June 30th supercut of Juan Toscano Anderson. And the caption just says, Lakers just got way more athletic. Fire emoji.
Facts.
Yes, they are certainly kind of insane. I haven't seen this explicitly, but I saw other people tweeting about this. The concept of the kind of good old Detroit Pistons fan base just getting mollywopped by New York Twitter fans being like, I will come to your house and kill you if you say that Jalen Brunson is flopping.
I find Knicks fans to be sort of delusional in the same way as Lakers fans, but not to the same degree. And it's sort of endearing to me because they behave the same way as Lakers fans with like none of the underlying baseline of success.
Yes.
Where it's like their experience with fandom is like coherent with the like core irrationality of the form, if that makes sense.
Well, and the another way, like tri-state, any East Coast fans just are better because they have winters, so they like have bad things happen to them.
Yeah, you become like a bad person, and that makes you a better fan, I think.
Right, and
no disrespect
to that end, like they have the bad thing people. Where they shit on their own team. Like,
yes,
which Lakers fans don't do. Like that the insanity is all there, but Knicks fans like to turn it around and be like, like if they lose to the Pistons, which I don't think they will, but even if they lose to whoever they'll see next, like they're gonna want Tibbs' head on a spike.
Yeah, like Bridges will have one bad game, and he'll even be like 4 for 11 with like a +2 in 35 minutes, right. And they'll just be like, "Bro, we gave up our entire future for like this guy who fucking sucks ass. Team is over. Like, it's done. Just pack it in. Let's all become Brooklyn Nets fans." And it's like, you guys are up 3-1 in the series.
Right, exactly. All right, well, with that...
But Rockets Warriors is a great clash of cultures because you have, like, old team, young team. You have, like, indulgent California hedonists and versus just, like, new money Texas assholes.
Mm-hmm. Oil kind of cowboys.
Yeah.
It's funny how, we've been tracking the millennial versus zoomerification of the league this year. And somebody pointed this out on Twitter, but it's so true that it hit its crescendo with Draymond Green pantomiming at Jalen Green to go paint your fingernails. Like,
yes,
that's the final thing. Like Draymond, like not understanding sort of like unique expressions of masculinity.
Yeah.
Or probably ultimately understanding it, but in the moment deciding to weaponize it.
Yes.
But okay, I also wanted to situate this as in kind of the nothing but respect context, because let's be honest, we've been on a heater. We got a playoff megapod. We've got Noah Colwyn. We got Liz Franzak. You know, we are coming into our own. We got the Awk Sportella 4-peat. We got it all. The last thing that we need is to beef. Like, we need to beef with somebody. I remember there was a very important moment in the Chapo Trap House universe where they got into a fight with Michael Rappaport.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Which is like a really awesome moment. Michael Rappaport was like, yeah, these guys is some chums. Like, he's just like calling them like dead ass losers or whatever. And I see a possible opportunity here with ESPN 730 Houston radio personality Paul Gallant. Paul, if you are listening to this, we're big fans. We would like to beef with you. Paul Gallant.
Yeah, we'd love to beef with you, man.
We'd love to fight with you for possibly mutual gain. I mean, Rappaport had a decent situation.
Sentence fragment ass name, Paul Gallant.
Yeah.
Adjective looking ass.
Paul Gallant went on a really awesome tirade against the Warriors that embodied this kind of like complete collapse of sports and kind of like politics / aestheticization of politics or whatever. And Alex Simon for SFGate wrote a great piece kind of breaking this all down, but then I went and did my own research, was watching the live stream or like the late night. So all of this happens on a late night live stream where Paul Gallant at 3 a.m. after Game 3 of the Houston Warriors goes live on Twitch.
This is like a nothing good ever happens after 2 a.m.
Yes.
moment, like
Yeah.
almost literally.
Well, there's a larger. I was thinking about this, zooming out from like a media perspective, and I see this in my work in working with brands and stuff. Is like they're all fucking obsessed with going live. It's like, who
that's
fucking
true.
cares about going live? I don't understand what the value of a like 3 a.m. podcast is. Like, what? Who cares? Who is this benefiting? So, and my theory, while you're thinking, is like I think it is downstream of like, YouTube's recommendation algorithm weighs live content more, probably because YouTube thinks that they can kind of like create a monopoly, a platform monopoly if they like boost and incentivize people going live. They're competing with Twitch. Twitch is also kind of like in this live space. But again, like these are for like bizarre Discord-ass teenagers watching other bizarre Discord-ass teenagers watch video games.
Yeah, is it Twitch? Twitch is like kind of falling off.
I
Really
don't-
showing my age here.
Right, yeah. It's, no.
Is Periscope still on?
Yeah. Dude, I wonder. Can you imagine the type of Periscope shit you would see now under Elon? Like, it would be like live, stitched together, like OBS produced drone strikes where you like have the guy. This is dark, actually. It doesn't matter. But my anyway, people are obsessed with going live. I think
There was an Isaiah Rashad album a few years ago that was really good. That had the line only go live on Periscope, and
Fire.
that has aged like milk, but I really love it.
yeah, but it has kind of spiritually the sentiment has aged like wine.
Yeah, that's how I sincerely feel the same way. So respect.
But anyway, so the maybe people, the media's the obsession with going live is a different conversation. But Paul Gallant goes live. Does something that is again a very good example of like where media is going, which is you've made this joke about how Barstool does this, where like all of Barstool is this like self-contained drama circus of like, you know, Big Timmy is mad at fucking Blake for something or whatever. He goes live to scroll on Twitter, looking at his Twitter and kind of like explaining and giving color commentary on an ongoing Twitter fight he is having
cool.
with Warriors fans.
He's basically solved like perpetual motion here.
Yes, like you can never stop. He's created like the first frontier was having 12 months of basketball fandom. The second frontier is having a constant subcategory of 24-hour beefs within every calendar day.
Yeah. It's like perfectly self-sustaining. The only input it requires is like you have to just lose like a couple sanity points every time you go live.
There's this really tragic video of Big Justice and his son talking about their creative process, and they're like, yeah, well, our editors are, and then they like kind of look at each other like as if they're allowed to say what they're about to say, and then they do, and they go, our editors are in the Philippines, and so that means that when we go to sleep, they wake up, and it's like a 12-year-old explaining how kind of like this weird video editing like labor machine works, where they send their stupid clips to video editing shops in the Philippines that then get turned around for them. But it just it's this perpetual motion thing that you're talking about. It's a nonstop content thing where they figured out how to like create stupid thumbnails in their sleep via globalization.
I was going to say, I would love to hear the small guy who's not the Rizzler, the other one, explain like supply chains and Fiverr and globalization and how like,
Exactly.
yeah, actually it's interesting. A lot of the clothing factories have moved out of China because there's a more exploitable labor base in Bangladesh. And, you know, like hearing him say the word climate refugees. Incredible.
Yeah.
Come on, nothing but respect.
Exactly. Yeah.
Only to talk macroeconomics.
We want to hear about what will really happen if China invades Taiwan.
Sorry, I keep derailing.
No, there's not that much more to it. He's basically getting mad at Warriors fans, but also getting mad at San Francisco's degradation and kind of like mushing it all together. You should check it out. It's funny. It's low stakes, but it's funny. The only other thing I'll say is like at one point somebody is like comments something like there isn't poop on the ground in San Francisco. And his response to that is, who are you, Xi Jinping? It's such a fire.
That's
like
so tight.
It is. It's such a funny example of, I guess, just like the vitriol that only comes out in political conversations and sports conversations, just like about this type of person, which is, again, doesn't deserve to get off scot-free. It's like a snooty San Francisco, opulent California, like, I guess, annoying online liberal. So I get it, but it's just really funny to see all this happen in the context of, was the Jimmy Butler foul fair or not? Like, that was the first stone, and then we got to being like, you're carrying water for the Prime Minister of China. Let's talk some actual basketball. The thing that I wanted to throw at you, the conceit I wanted to throw at you, which I think is we're in a good moment for this. Like, one of my favorite parts of the playoffs are these narratives that get built up across the season, throughout the season, about players or about teams or whatever, that they don't get fully stress tested by nature of like the season being long or these ideas being sort of ephemeral, or there being enough excuses to explain away a certain thing. And then all of a sudden the playoffs happen and these narratives are pressure tested. And some of them wilt under that pressure. Some of them, some players are able to transcend it and whatever. And so they make for just like extremely satisfying sports debates because the abstract becomes real all of a sudden. And so I wanted to talk about kind of like which narratives have been advanced, which narratives have been possibly deconstructed, which narratives have been created. So do you have, let's go with advanced first. Do you have any kind of in the advanced narratives that have been advanced category?
This is a slightly larger order than the phenomenon you were describing, but the Eastern Conference just sucks. There's been one of those series is good. Celtics Magic has been like just remarkably ass. The Celtics are load managing already their way through the series with like the Holiday and Tatum injuries. The Magic have like 2 guys capable of scoring and 0 guys capable of dribbling the basketball. Pacers Bucks has been like I guess, fun only if you're a Pacers fan. It's kind of just a grim execution, and the Dame thing is just like the saddest shit of all time.
Yeah.
Cavs Heat has been like kind of fun, but only because the Heat have been like squirrely enough to force the Cavs to do cool stuff. And then Knicks Pistons has been like straight up great.
Yeah.
But just that, those games are the ones that I watch like the fourth quarter of after going to the gym before like the real ones start. Like the West, I mean, I was going to ask, like, is it sort of hard for you having to stay up till like 1 or 2 if you're going to watch every Warriors game?
It is gnarly. I am like completely losing. Oh wait, did I lose you? Oh no, you're back. Okay.
No,
So, yeah, I mean, my sleep schedule is completely fucked up now, especially with Warriors playoff games because I have to like decompress afterwards for 20 minutes and like play iPhone games before I can go to sleep. But
this is the Tom Lay, Jalen Pickett crash out saga all over again.
Is that what he does? He's like,
yeah, he just, he like a thrilling Nuggets loss will end at 1:15 a.m. and he just has to like sit there in the dark and decompress for a while.
Just on mountain time to just waiting for people in the Defector Slack to wake up and thumbs up his shit. Yeah. No, I've been there. Yeah, so it does suck, and I totally agree with you that the it's not that the drama is manufactured because I think some of these things are real, but I especially with Knicks Pistons, but like the Bucks Pistons especially was like you're kind of talking about this series as a real series with real stakes or whatever, and then you're like you look at the starting lineup for the Bucks and you're like, oh, this is not a real series. This is a completely unserious, like they're relying on such bad players. Like it's almost, whatever. So I agree with you that there was not a this has only further been advanced, that they kind of like parody issue in the East is just continued.
The second one you have on this list, I think, is the most interesting.
The Nico Harris Vindication Committee is flying to Los Angeles. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I think I had a dream that Nico Harrison came on our podcast, actually. But like as sort of like a Ringer employee and was just like kind of fucking around with us. And it was like, oh yeah, our boy Nico, he's back.
Interesting. Okay. Friend of the program, Nico Harris. I mean, hey, I was
just going to say, like, the complete vindication is not there, but like Luka has not been good. And the way he has not been good has been like kind of what Owen Phillips was talking about, like in a way that's like not totally unforeseeable.
I was going to say like a winner of the playoffs has been Owen Phillips and his idea of the weak link league versus strong link league. Like that's when you get, and we even talked about it on that show. Like that's where you get real nervous about Luka as a kind of perpetual weak link on defense, at least. He looks like out of shape. He looks like these are the kinds of games where you do see him getting targeted over and over and over again. And it's funny, like in a crazy way, I sometimes am like, they're not even targeting him enough. Like I think they could do it where they're like, let's just put him in 50 actions over and over and over again. And you saw, it felt pretty clear that the coaching handed down to the Timberwolves was, if you get Luka in action, put your head down and drive at him, no matter what.
Yeah. Even if you're Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah. Because Jaden McDaniels, who isn't normally a guy who grabs ball and thinks to go downhill, he will, but it's really not like his main thing. You saw him like time and time again taking like weird kind of contested twos, like mini jump hooks, like all this stuff, but it was because it was against Luka and he could get those shots. And so he's not completely vindicated, and in fact, he is ultimately not vindicated, basically ever, because you just the whole point of watching basketball is being with your superstar, whatever, like the human component. He completely missed.
Not to talk shit about a former guest.
Yes, not to talk shit about exactly. When we had him on the our Sicario rewatchables episode, he was awesome.
Yeah, that series has been really fun, and something I liked about both Game 4 of the Lakers series and the Clippers Nuggets series is this kind of like this idea you have in the regular season is that like teams will be sort of equally competitive throughout the game and they'll play their bench, some mixed lineups and stuff. But like the way the Nuggets and the Lakers tried to win both of those games was by playing all their dudes huge minutes early and then just trying to hold on for dear life. Mm-hmm. Like the final 8 minutes of the Nuggets game when they were up by 20 or whatever, they were just playing prevent offense. Like everyone was just dead on their feet out there and the Clippers were just killing them. But like it worked because they had like mortgaged so much to build this huge lead early, like just crushing the Ben Simmons on Jokic stuff. And like, I think Jokic every starter played like over 40 minutes or something. And then in the Lakers game, like JJ didn't make a single sub in the entire second half. Mm-hmm. And the theory was basically like, yeah, they'll win the back half of the fourth quarter. Like you're structurally just sort of ceding the advantage to the opponent. But the theory is like, we can just win like the middle 20 minutes or whatever. And I find that dynamic really fascinating as a way to like defeat depth. But then like you do get like that. I guess my point there is like the Clippers comeback feels so improbable, but like it was sort of already priced in by the way that David Adelman coached that game.
Priced in, right, is the right way to put it. Of like, and especially priced in the whole playoffs of it, where you actually are reaching the limits of these people's endurance and kind of like ability to make moves. And so like that kind of thing. I had a completely like broken brain take when I saw that JJ didn't sub anybody out, which I was like, did he just reverse engineer a Legion Hoops post? Like, was it? Because I was like, I saw the Legion Hoops post of like, JJ, no subs, first time ever, fucking skull emoji. And I was like, did JJ know that was going to happen and that's why he did this? Like, it's
former media member, you know, he knows what Legion Hoops is, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. He's in the replies.
Sort of similar. You had a good one written down for Undermined that like Gobert is actually kind of crushing it as a help defender. Like if you watch, there's like 1 out of every 5 plays is like a total barbecue chicken, but then like he really does get in good positions more often than not.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. This is you know good journalism here. I had a little eye test where I was like, I kind of think Gobert's holding up on these screens, and then I went and looked and the data does back it up, or on these ISOs. It's funny because, and I actually think that this is probably going against the Lakers. Whenever in the first two, or in the 2 games in LA, the first 2 games, whenever Luka got Gobert on a switch, the stadium erupted. Like everybody was like, yes. And then Gobert actually did end up holding up pretty well because they whatever. And so, I felt like it had this like kind of like deflating effect where like Luka was he was getting to a step back or whatever, but it wasn't effortless clearly, and it backs it up. Gobert is of high ISO defenders. He is the second best high ISO defender in the league right now. The first is Zubac. So like he is holding up, and this actually speaks to. I was thinking about this with the Luka defense because I was just like kind of looking for ways it was bad. The Ant would get Luka on a switch, and I saw this. You don't get this often, I sense, in NBA games where Ant had the time to know that no matter what, he was going to get the shot he wanted if he hit that like right foot jab, kind of in and out dribble step back. And so when you can prep for that, when you have like 5 seconds to prepare for that shot, you shoot a higher percentage of it. And so even though it is nominally a step back, nominally like you kind of think about it as like a win for the defender if he's not driving by Luka, he is getting whatever he wants against Luka. And so it's no accident that he then fucking drills a bunch of step back threes in Luka's face. Because he gets to prep for it and set up for it and like mentally prepare for the 3. There's no like, oh, is this long arm going to come out of nowhere and affect me? Like, is LeBron going to read me correctly and whatever do I need? He's just like, this motherfucker is slow. He's going to take a step back when I drive right. I'm going to get it. I can like fucking do a little Buddha visualization of what's going to happen and then sink the shot. So Luka looks bad out there on defense.
And I guess to be fair, he had some sort of doo-doo ass situation
He was
in
hungover.
game 4. Eamon has sent me, I have not cleared my text. Eamon, I'm so sorry, but there's like 5 or 6 joke texts about like how, oh yeah, Minnesota cheese stuffed hamburgers. It's like the number one food up here. So I do see you, I hear you, and I do think you're correct. Another narrative that's been undermined a little bit has been like the Thompson twins as this like sort of game breaking future. I mean, I do think they will be extremely good very soon, but like both of them have been pretty marginalized, at least more than I thought, through Ausar's first 4 and Amen's first 3 playoff games.
Yeah, completely. And that's one of those fun ones where it's relatively low stakes in the sense that they will have and should have, and I hope they do have, a number of cracks at the apple, right? Like you're not expected to do excellently your first high leverage situation. Shea had bad early playoffs. Like I've met plenty of people had bad early playoffs, but not everybody does. And
De'Aaron Fox.
Did he have a good one? Or did he have...
He had a great one.
Okay, was that the Warriors? His first playoffs?
Yeah, don't worry about who won the series, but he was. If he doesn't break his finger, then they lose Game 7 by less, I think. But like that was a great series. Anyway,
no, that is actually a perfect example of one of these things where like if De'Aaron Fox had gotten swallowed up, as actually his teammate Sabonis did in that exact playoff, like you do think about them a little bit differently. And again, it's not a deal breaker, it's not whatever, but it was I'm like happy about it because I'm a Warriors fan, but it put in stark light what the limitations of Ausar Thompson's game and Ausar's to an extent, like what their limitations are right now. And provides a very clear roadmap, hopefully, for them to figure out like what they can add. And that's a really fun, when you're tracking player development, it is fun to kind of look at, okay, like now he knows what teams are going to make him shoot. It should be like extremely clear what he should work on this summer,
Yeah.
I suspect he will.
Ausar in particular, and this segues us into one in the completely neutral bucket, is like, Ausar in particular has been victimized by Brunson in his like unethical hooping flopping thing more than anyone else. And my 3 brought this theory up that I think is like actually kind of true, which is like Ausar gets punished because he actually gets to the spot in ways that like officials don't expect him to because he is so athletic. So it's like sort of Brunson does a thing where he gains a position and then just tries to like convert on it by like jumping backwards into a guy or whatever. But then like Ausar will actually have like fully recovered and like won't be in the place where like officials expect him to be. And especially in that, I believe it was game 2 when that was like the most like stupid ass offense. Like Cat had 0 threes, 2 assists, like, and it was all just Brunson foul baiting stuff. Like there were a couple of those where Ausar got victimized for just like wrong place, wrong time shit that wasn't his fault. And it's such a bummer. The way that game ended yesterday was, I really wanted the Pistons to win that one and even it up, but I think it's over.
To your point, I have never been a ref, but I suspect my sense is what they're trying to do on a snap judgment kind of way is like, does it look unnatural from the offensive point of view? If it does, then we are not going to award the offensive person for doing something unnatural. And so like, that's why more and more, I think, honestly, that's one of the reasons like Prime Harden would get dinged. None of his shit would work in the playoffs is because he was doing this extremely unnatural, swipe movement that when refs were really keyed in on it, it was very easy for them to be like, this is unnatural. Now, these players are cyborgs and have like evolved, and now Brunson is playing like 4D chess with foul baiting. But the point is that tracks with what Maitri's saying, which is like, if it looks unnatural, even if it's unnatural because of Ausar's, athleticism, there's something there. I will say the other part though, and this speaks to one of my other like theories that has been advanced, is some of these little Gen Z guys need to fucking drink some milk, dude. They need to gain some weight. And I think Brunson's ability to move Ausar, even though he's athletic, he is like, a twig. And Jalen Green, I feel like an idiot saying it, or like oversimplified, but I look at him and I'm like, that's a tiny little guy. I don't care that he can like double pump, cock back a dunk. Like he gets moved off his spot every single time he drives. Like Steph Curry is clamping him. It
is wild to see. Like, I guess Curry is a great example here because he looks like this. Like, you would think he would just get the shit beaten out of him every game, but like he's been battle tested. He like understands that like things are different up there. And like the one good game that Green had was when he was just like teams were going under on screens against him and he was nailing everything.
Right.
And like seeing it, this always happens every year where the playoffs start and then everyone's like, whoa, things are getting really physical. And it's like, yeah, no shit. That's what happens every year.
Right.
And that's what's actually made me sort of like appreciate Brunson's last two games is like, then not only has he gone away from the unethical stuff a little bit, the Knicks are actually better when he doesn't try to foul bait, when like people can flow. And the thing that makes him good is his physicality. He has that big ass head and he can like move people.
Yeah.
And so when he uses his powers for good, instead of like pretending to be beaten the shit out of, to like actually just like bump guys and stuff, then it's cool.
Yeah, it's a good point. I'd be curious to see what Brunson's, because my sense is that if you're smart, you go away from that foul baiting bullshit in the last minute of the game because refs are like definitely not going to call it in the last minute. And Brunson was a great clutch scorer this year.
Yeah, he won the
award,
Clutch
right?
Player of the Year.
He won the silly Clutch Player of the Year award. And if I had to guess, I would bet that a lot of those like last couple minutes of the game weren't foul baiting bullshit. It was more of those, 14-footer, perfect decision, navigating the pick and roll, or like bump, fade away, 9-footer or whatever. Like, I think there is something to that. It probably is still on like a points per possession thing, like good for him to get fouled all the time. But I agree. I agree with the notion that like the Knicks have enough firepower and enough offense to, they don't need him doing that bullshit.
Yeah, because then that's when you vindicate those Knicks fans who are just like, Bridges just stands in the corner, and it's like, yeah, he's going to do that if Brunson's just dribbling the air out of the ball in every possession and then falling down.
Right, exactly.
He just loves to be on the ground. Like, get up, man.
I know. It's great that Knicks and the Knicks and Philly, the so-called grittiest fan bases in the world, have like the two biggest like just slipped on a banana peel ass basketball players of all time.
It is very beautiful. They deserve it. Yeah. Also, Jokic does some insane flops. Like it was I forget which game it was. I think it was the first. Yeah, it was game 2, the first one they lost. He was just like flying around on the court. It was so funny. He kind of looks like Draymond when he does it, because Draymond can also, when he just gets frustrated.
Yeah, flail flops.
That series though has been. Did you see the Gordon buzzer beater thing?
Yes.
The thing I loved about that is like if you go frame by frame, full Zapruder on like the angle that matters, there's like the limits of the frame rate dictate the result of that. It's like there's one where his hand is touching the ball with the light off, and then the next frame is his hand is off the ball with the light on. And so like there's sort of a Schrodinger's cat situation here where like the one definitive angle is his hand off, light off, but that doesn't exist.
Yes.
And so it's like I think if that game goes to overtime, the Nuggets are just fully toast. But like it's decided on this like sort of quantum uncertainty, which if you're a Clippers fan, you're probably so mad. But like, I just think that's as a replay hater, I just think it's kind of great that like fundamentally this stuff is like kind of not solvable.
Right. Well, that one I really was just like, it was one of those. I had the same. I went in that philosophical direction. Same thing where I like saw that replay, watched 4 of them 4 times in a row, and my only conclusion is like there's no such thing as truth. Like there's no, the only truth is that there's uncertainty behind every turn. It really was like it had me thinking about like what constitutes a basket. Like if he had like palm, I'm doing like Zizian style thought experiments.
If Aaron Gordon was vegan, then they would have just won by 20.
I'm doing the trolley experiment with like, no, because I'm like legitimately like, if he palms the ball and puts his hand through the rim,
Yeah.
At what point is that a basket / at what point is the game over? Are we in this like liminal, the game is not over and they have won and lost the game until he lets go of the ball? Like, I just don't even understand it.
It's sort of a testament to the fact that this has been, I think, the best series, because the question in like Knicks Pistons is like, is it ethical what Jalen Brunson's doing? Like the sort of philosophical level questions are like about officiating, where like the philosophical level questions in Nuggets Clippers are like, so we do not understand that the laws of physics are all based on a series of theories, right? Like, we can't definitively prove that gravity exists. We can sort of just suppose its presence, right? And that's fucking great.
I like the idea of like people will be like, the Lakers lost that series, but they won 16 out of the 22 quarters or whatever. It's like the Nuggets have been up 645 million frames. whereas the Clippers have only been up 300 million frames. You have to like find the derivative of like various curves and like, circumscribe. You have to like, read geometry journals to understand who won the game. It's amazing. I like two other things about the ending of some of these games. The maybe this happened before. The debut of the HawkEye camera, which was like new 7th angle that like somehow was the definitive angle for every single weird instant replay, was so funny to me. Like I was wrong. Well, I was kind of wrong. I put this out on Twitter, and actually Owen Phillips was responding, but I was like, because on the TNT broadcast, they debuted the HawkEye camera to show, or not debut, but first time I ever saw the HawkEye camera to show the out of bounds was Alf LeBron for one of those like final plays with Ant.
Oh yeah.
And then
it's a very like weird grayscale color scheme.
It looks exactly like when you get like 9 kills in Call of Duty and you're calling in a drone strike. Like it's the exact same like version, tint of that screen. And then they didn't show it for the Nuggets one, and I was just I was wondering out loud. I was like, why didn't they show the HawkEye camera for like the only important replay ever?
Yeah, you would think Steve Ballmer's arena would be like the most kitted out with the crazy advanced cameras.
Yeah, and let me know, which is fair, that the NBA did use the HawkEye camera. It just didn't get on the broadcast. But the other thing I wanted to say, it's so funny that you bring up Zapruder film, because I was laughing to myself about that they sort of like, I don't know exactly who is part of this media operation, but they have stopped calling the thing the last 2-minute report and have started calling it the pool report.
Oh.
And I am like, what is this like fucking Epstein ass like conspiracy LARP thing where we're calling like the ref, like someone in our someone in New York being like, hey, do you think that was a foul? And now that you're looking at it a few more times, like, that's what they're doing. But they're like, the pool report dossier has revealed that Jalen Green traveled on the second to last play. It's like,
they should redact those. They should just like, people would go so schizo if they released like a redacted last 2 minutes report. And it's like, call on Paolo Banchero, and it's just like 3 lines of black bars. Oh my God.
That's really funny.
They should do that.
A redacted pool report. A redacted pool report from 1978 reveals that the Celtics should have lost.
You should be able to FOIA the NBA.
Yeah. And that would be awesome. Wow, what would be if you could FOIA the NBA, what would be like your top FOIAs?
Tim Donaghy, and 2002 Western Conference Finals, I would ask, under the statute, all communications, text messages, if you have a cost estimate, please let me know. I would use the Muckrock, template for FOIAing the NBA, and they'd be like, tip, when asking for referees, like, do not call them a motherfucker or your request will be deleted. What about you?
I think I'm going every single Josh Harris text message ever. I'm like using it. I'm like, or what's another one that I was like, kind of like, what the fuck is the decision was sponsored by 3 companies: Powerade, University of Phoenix, and like some other one. And
wasn't there vitamin water?
It was
everywhere.
It was vitamin water, Bing and University of Phoenix. University of Phoenix, a subsidiary of Apollo Global, which is like just insane.
Bum, bum, bum.
So I'm like, yeah, NBA, give me every single. I want anytime. I want him talking about, if he's talking about fucking training for Jeff Green, I want to know. If he's talking to Jeffrey Epstein, I want to know. Every keyword search Jeff in all of Josh Harris's.
Release the Jeff files.
Yeah. If he's talking to Leon Poe, if he's talking to Leon Black, dude, just I don't care. I want to know. Yeah. The
King
only
James or St. James. We need all the records.
Little King James Island.
Little King James.
That's funny.
The
yeah.
Lakers do have Little King James on their bench.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, when somebody, like when Anthony Edwards isolates on Bronny, that's little King James Island. Hell yeah, dude. Okay, like other couple ones we had, some created narratives, like narratives that I feel like were that are now I think going to be ones to watch. These are fairly banal. One is like the kind of obvious but real Cade coming out party. He has just been spectacular.
So good. And it wasn't this wasn't like a confirmed or undermined thing, because it was sort of an open question of like, okay, we know the Knicks have 4 out of the 5 best players in the series. Like, how much of that difference can Cade make up? And it turns out like a shitload. And
like, I can't think of a better guy to guard him than OG Anunoby.
And OG's only been, it was only at the end of game 2 when like OG's had any real sustained success. And that was because Cade was just giving them crazy buckets for 3 quarters and ran out of gas.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's just been spectacular and really like, like plays at his own pace and it just does. He's fun to watch, man.
He gives me that Luka feeling where like, I think with both of them, it's just such a confidence in their physical gifts. Like if you put anyone small at all, Luka or Cade will just, use their ass, back him down, get to 8 feet, and then it's a problem.
Yeah.
Cade kind of, and he can't do that as easily against OG, but like OG doesn't dominate him,
It does seem like if anybody makes one mistake, Cade capitalizes, like eat one like slight twitch of their hip in the wrong direction, like Cade gets them on his hip, bumps them off, and like basically gets the shot he wants.
Yeah.
And even like throwing more basketball cliches, that shot that Cade got at the end of the game 4, like, you'll live with that 10 times out of 10.
It's a good shot.
He missed it, but it was like a 14-footer, pretty open, not much else you could ask for.
And kind of like what you were saying about Ant, you could just tell he was like, if I have to take this shot, I'm ready to.
Right.
And like it was in rhythm. He understood the contest angle and was like totally fine with it. Yeah.
The only other ones we talked about, Owen Phillips, the strong link, weak link, I think is it's in the process. I think it'll be funny. It'll be a letdown from this particular thing and possibly big picture if the Celtics play OKC, because it'll just be two non-weak link chain teams just like banging against each other.
Yeah.
So, whatever. But a lot of this sort of this weak link targeting has just been, I mean, it's not, I don't know, it's been on display for a while, but it was just interesting to have Owen articulate it like that. It's something I've been thinking about.
Yeah, it sort of coheres a lot of, in like not collates, but like it unifies a lot of stuff about like mismatch hunting and can't play this guy in the playoffs, like that. It just sort of like puts a language to that.
Yes.
The James Harden thing has been interesting, where like he's been so good and his flaws are what they are, his strengths are what they are, and like the most interesting thing I think about Harden is that he's like, and maybe it's just the structure of the Clippers, but he doesn't seem to have that like fatal inconsistency kind of like, oh, he's just going to go 2 for 9 in one game and completely disappear. And I think it's because he doesn't have to do everything on that team.
I was going to say these teams it's a great situation for him where he gets to do a lot. He gets to run a bunch of pick and rolls. He isn't, the Embiid thing. I mean, I still like just if I am being critical of Harden, like his decision to step away from the Philly situation because he like didn't like being second fiddle to Embiid was just like so not kind of like winner coded, like just
especially after forcing his way out of Brooklyn to go there.
It was like you have the most unstoppable play in basketball. It just doesn't end up with you throwing a blob, and so you don't like doing it all the time. It was just
maybe that was just covered because he knew Joel's knees were like full of crab meat.
Yeah, he saw Embiid like buckle up at the club walking upstairs, and he was like,
"This is over."
Like, wait a second. Yeah, maybe honestly.
He also knew Lil Baby, that Lil Baby was going to fall off. So he's like, man, this is going to be a good year for me. Like, he's got no heat in the can. It's time I got to get somewhere I can win.
He heard the Wham demo. He was like, this is mid. This guy, that means I'm back. Yeah, it's possible. But he has been lethal on offense, but it's just so funny how many like simple winning plays he misses on the defensive end. Like,
yes,
I there's like he basically misses a block out that would win the Clippers the game every single game. Like
it's true. And they run that funky ass zone with him and Norm Powell as the low guys because it's like, if you put them at the point of attack, Jamal is just getting a free three every single time. And so then, seeing him like choose, like, do I get within 5 feet of a Michael Porter contest or I just get jammed by Aaron Gordon for a free offensive board? It's like, you can just see that decision tree and he's like, well, they both suck. So I'm just going to stand here.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's really funny, like to see these just like silly plays he misses.
Game 5 is going to be so good.
It is.
I can't wait.
It's an awesome
in
movie.
Denver. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and then I think we touched on all the big ones.
Just Magic, and I wrote the last one is like Magic and Cavs being who we thought they were, and OKC. Mm-hmm. Like, I've watched a lot of OKC, and even when the Grizzlies are doing well, it's like, oh, Scottie Pippen Jr. just made 7 threes kind of on accident,
right?
And then like they just play OKC ball and it's over.
There was a second in that Magic Celtics game last night where the Celtics, like, I was so excited to put the Celtics on fraud watch. And then the Celtics did what they do, which is just like turn into a combination of like 5 apex predator defenders, like perfectly switching and then like passing and drilling threes. Like the Kristaps Porzingis, like being their 4th offensive player and being able to like catch a alley-oop, flip it up with the other hand, then grab it and dunk it and get fouled. Like, they are just so stacked.
Nate, I think it was Nate Duncan who pointed this out, that like in game 3, the one the Magic won, that they were doing this like hilarious defense where it was like man-to-man, no help. Like, they would switch stuff, but like, you're just going to play one-on-one because we will not let you kick out to corner shooters for free. And like, the downside of that is like, sometimes you see Wendell Carter just like standing and watching Jason Tatum go by to the basket, and he's like, not my problem. But then it's like, I think they shot their fewest threes this season by like 6 or something. And it's like, the idea of that strategy being sort of implemented in advance by a unit like the Thunder, for example, is really enticing to think about.
Yeah, it'll be, I wonder if we will see big picture a return to less complicated switching patterns and stuff with all of this, because I even see it with this brief aside, and we'll get it out of here. There's the Michael Pina had that great profile.
Really good
about Jokic, and a lot of the stuff that I especially liked was just like Pina laying out and breaking down the kind of like ways in which Jokic like operates and kind of like what it actually means for him to have high IQ. And it's funny, like so much of what Jokic does is he's able to read back complicated. He's able to necessitate complicated back end defenses because of how good he is. But then he is able to read them and like manufacture points by just like being like, oh, they're slightly confused because they're going to have to do this like cross X switching or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just like ping it to Christian Brown and he's going to like get a decently open shot. And I wonder if we'll see a return to what you're talking about, which is like basically like high school basketball style shell drill defense where you are like maybe you help if you're 2 passes away. You don't help off the corner, and then like that's it, and you just guard your fucking man. It'd be fun to see.
Yeah, final victory against the Thibodeau style.
Yeah, where the Tom Thibodeau created the financial crisis by revolutionizing weird switches in 2008.
Real shit. All right, this was good.
Yes, Patrick. What can the people? Oh, Nate Duncan, by the way, only guy who tweeted out my my hate reads. He was like, "Do
what did Tweeps think about this?"
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So thank you for that. He was like, "I disagree, but that's okay."
I just wrote a Bucks sort of obituary that just went up. Other than that, just watching the games.
Hell yeah, same. I'm not doing shit. Oh wait, actually I am. Well, I'm not. the Alan Cesaro has a piece that's coming out either today or is coming out soon about something we should talk about next week, which is the emerging fight within Warriors world of #wear the shirts.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
He talked to me about that a little bit for his piece. I think he just told me that his editor cut the part that I mentioned, but the piece is still good. He's thinking about interesting stuff. I have the SF Gate editor. I'm on. You're on my fucking. You're on notice, big dog.
Unless you too.
Yeah, but salute. In any case, and salute to Alan. He's a great writer.
Sick. All right.
Sweet.
Enjoy. Good stuff.
Hell yeah.